us. It's always a pleasure to have you on the program. We stay in New York for our next story, where Syrian President Ahmed Al-Sharaa has renewed his call for Washington to formally lift U.S. sanctions imposed under the 2019 Caesar Act. Speaking at a summit on the sidelines of the UNGA, Sharaa has said that the sanctions imposed on the previous Syrian leadership are no longer justified and are increasingly seen by Syrians as measures targeting them directly. Let's take a listen in to Al-Sharaa's statements.
We try to break the restrictions. We have to lift the restrictions and lift the sanctions put on Syria, because these sanctions were put because of the regime of Hafez al-Assad since 1979, even before we were born, because that was a country that fostered terrorism and such. These sanctions, specifically the Caesar law that was pushed by the American Congress on the former regime because it had tortured and violated human rights on its people. It had committed many violations against the Syrian people. But this is a former regime. This is past. So therefore, these sanctions have to be lifted. And if these sanctions remain with the old regime collapse, then they'll be targeting the people and not the regime, the former regime. I think Syria deserves a new opportunity at life, and Mr. President Donald Trump took a bold decision to lift the sanctions speedily, but it is still pending at the Congress, and the Congress also has to push to better the situation in Syria, because the Syrian people have suffered over the last decades, and the sanctions should not remain because it causes a burden on the people who've already suffered by the oppression of the former regime.
Sharaa has also said that Syria has reached advanced stages in the ongoing security talks with Israel. Let's hear it.
This course is ongoing regarding peace number 74. I believe that we reached advanced stages, and I hope that will lead us to an agreement that will keep the sovereignty of Syria and also resolve some of the security fears for Israel.
This comes as Washington has been pressuring Syria to reach a security deal with Israel during the New York meetings this week. Damascus hopes to secure a halt to Israeli airstrikes and the withdrawal of Israeli troops who have pushed into southern Syria. Sharaa has also met with US Secretary of State Marco Rubio on the sidelines of the UNGA. Sharaa's visit to New York marks the first time in 6 decades that a Syrian leader has attended the United Nations General Assembly. Okay, we're now joined by Dr. Satoru Nagao. He's a fellow at the Hudson Institute, and he joins us live from Tokyo in Japan. Dr. Nagao, what is the significance of temporary President Al-Sharaa at the UNGA this year, and what is he hoping to get out of it?
Syria's influence itself is not big just now, but this is very vital timing. When the country rebuilds their government, in this case, what kind of government they will build rely on the beginning. So that's why if the current Syrian president chooses a more open country and cooperate with the international society to rebuild their country, in this case it will be the long-term impact, because in the future the Syria will rebuild. That time Syria's influence will be big, but still their foreign policy will rely on the beginning, and that's why there will be more coordinated relation with other countries. So that's why the U.S. focusing on Syria and Western country focusing on Syria, and President Sharia focusing on this cooperation with the Western countries. That is very good news for Western countries. So this is vital timing, and we cannot ignore. That is my opinion. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Nagao, for joining us here on the program. It's always a pleasure to speak to you.